Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, that guy that owns the Martinez War Dogs. Anyways, I want to talk to you briefly about a few things. Just going to make this a short video. This is basically just a topic that I'm going to talk about. Okay, first and foremost, so happy that the 49ers are 5-1. Now we got to, we've just gone through our bye, so go ahead and take on the next team, which is who, by the way? The Browns. All right, the Browns, which is good. Take on the Browns. Anyways, so I want to just briefly talk about a few things. My team currently right now, yes, I know, is 2-5, and that's pretty bad. And a lot of things are going on. Nicola's not really doing that well, although she beat me this week, which is really surprising for her. Usually she's way up on there. My dad is doing all right. Gladiators are not really doing that great. There's just a lot of surprises. Jose's doing phenomenal, which is great for him. Nelson's doing awesome, which is rare, because last year he wasn't doing so good, but now he's really kicking it. And he didn't really have a great quarterback. And Aaron's doing great. Aaron's doing really, really wonderful. He's really turned out to be a really great owner, and I'm going to continue to keep that guy because he's competitive. A lot of people just absolutely say, God dang it, freaking Aaron, I can't stand this guy. He's taking me out, and what do I do, or God, he's scoring so much. Can this guy lose a game for crying out loud? That's what I want. I want a player that's doing so good that everybody just can't stand and want to beat because he's consistently winning games. That is what I want out of an owner. So I'm so happy that Aaron's in our league. What about signing a 5-year contract with the league, Aaron? No, just kidding. No, seriously. No. The other thing is that I know a lot of you guys are experiencing problems with wide receivers and running backs, and the fact that you can't add them to your roster because you don't want to get rid of a guy, and you're only allowed a minimum of 3 running backs and I think 4 wide receivers, which is about, yeah, that's crazy. Me and Dennis have no plans of changing that, and we're going to keep as is because I don't plan. I basically made a rule this year that I'm not going to change anything once the season starts. That's why it's so important to you guys as owners before the season starts, before the draft even, to go, hey, we've got some issues with some stuff that we would like to talk to you about that we think that needs to be changed. That way we can talk about it in a meeting and go through it and possibly change it. Not necessarily mean that we're going to take every bit of your advice, but we could possibly change that. I say a lot, I know. I've gotten better over the years. No. There's a lot of crazy things that's going on. People are just basically holding on to their players, and they're literally willing to sacrifice having a player on bye still on their roster, or sacrifice playing a receiver or whatever that's injured because there's nothing they can do. It was surprising to me because no one's really complained to me about this, except for me and Dennis basically coming up to each other and saying, hey, this is a bit of an issue. Maybe it's because both me and Dennis, our teams suck. I don't know. But we're not going to change it. We're just going to go with as is. We've thought about doing several different things, as possibly changing it during the playoffs or changing it after the season or whatnot or whatever. But let's just let the bye weeks go, and I think it will be a lot easier. It's just going to be tough to hold on and bite your teeth. But, I mean, your nails. Also, the other thing that you could do to get around the solution is throw a player in the free agency, let the Sharks go at it, and then try to outbid them and put the money on the player, which is real risky, but it's an opportunity. The other thing you can possibly do is trade. A lot of people are not trading. They're literally holding on to their players and holding on to them and treating them like babies. You can't do that. You gotta let players go. I mean, I'm totally for people holding on to certain players that they don't want to get rid of. That's totally understandable. But literally, I mean, I've done some offers with people just to see how they react, and basically say, hey, I'll give you 2, 3 of my superstars for 2 good players, and they won't do it. It's just amazing to me, and I'm testing and testing people's boundaries. I was just in the process of talking to the Timberwolves, and I was going to give them 2 really good players, Maurice Jones-Drew and Deshaun Jackson, and he wanted more. He wanted $200 with my fantasy money. Oh, by the way, you can trade your fantasy money too. Yes. Yeah, I've mentioned this to you guys before, but I guess no one got the memo. You could trade your fantasy money. And I mentioned to you guys this before the season started. You can trade your fantasy money. Now, there is not a little icon or a little click or a little thing that you click to trade it. You have to literally go to either me or Dennis and come to me and Dennis, and then we will handle it. Dennis will come up to me and say, hey, this needs to be done. Call us up, email us, whatever, and we will make sure of this. The only thing we need to do is we need to check with the other owner that this is okay so we can take it off their bank slot and put it into the other thing. It's a piece of cake. It's easy for us to do. It's just something you can't do personally. We don't want you to handle that kind of a category because it's a very sensitive category. It requires a lot of people's money, so I mean, you can work it out. It's just I would rather know about this stuff beforehand. Now, if we know that you're going to trade a player and then trade it for $600, you know, a player and $600 of your fantasy money, that's fine. We're not going to stop it. We're not going to sit there and go, no, you can't do that. That's a bullshit trade. No, we don't have any power whatsoever over that. It's the thing is that it just has to be, we have to know about it so we can move the money. It don't matter how the trade is or how bad it is or how easy it is, or whatever the trade might be, we don't care. All we care about is that we know about this so we can move the money. That's it. So a lot of you guys are trading because you're hoarding on to players, which is not helping you at all. People just do not want to give up their players, which is making it really difficult for the teams that want to trade. I've negotiated with teams after teams after teams, and I'm not just saying this because it's mine. I'm not saying this is why I'm losing. I'm losing because I probably drafted poorly. I'm losing because I've got wide receivers that are injured consistently. How many god dang hamstring injuries are in the NFL right now? I mean, every player that goes down, it's usually a hamstring injury, and it requires 5 to possibly 6 weeks to sit on the bench and heal that injury. And that's something that I've got to deal with. It's something that, you know, Joe Blow's got to deal with. And it's really unfortunate, and I just hate the fact that I've got to deal with it. But it's just something I have to do. I've had a losing season before, and I can deal with having another one. It's not a problem. I would just like to get some wins, so in order for me to do that, I have to basically go around there and just try to negotiate trades, whatnot, and what have you. Me and Dennis are also going to be talking briefly about possibly if your season does poorly and we keep everybody in the league this year, then you will be able to draft first in the league of next year. Now that is if we keep every owner, which we're planning on doing. The only way that we will release an owner from our league, it has nothing to do with their winning and losing record whatsoever. All it has to do is what we pay attention to do is if you start not paying attention to your league, if we don't see that you're active, and I can tell if people are moving people from their slots, if they're dropping players. It doesn't have to do anything to do with, oh, I can't play this wide receiver, I'm going to have to put him on bye or whatever, because I know we're dealing with that. When I get into once the buys are out, then we're really going to start focusing on who's really paying attention to their team, even if their team's losing, because that means that they're still enjoying the league. Even though they're losing, they're still playing the game of fantasy football and still having fun. If we don't see that and we don't see any activity whatsoever, then we start getting really suspicious and start questioning if this owner really needs to be in this league or not. Ryan Gallagher, I guess I'll just go ahead and have him make a shirt for me and I'll go walk around with it to try to promote his little shirt thing. He makes these shirts that are really awesome. They're really great and they really look cool, and you can pretty much do anything you want, any color you want, and you know, almost any color you want. You know, if you want to go for the breast cancer week thing or whatever, and have a pink shirt with your team logo for the rest of October, which is about a week left. More power to you. Or you can do it for next year for October for the breast cancer thing, or you know, anything you want to do. It's up to you, as long as there's no crazy obscenities. That's fine. And it looks really cool. I saw one of them he did. It's okay. He did the Star Wars one, which he didn't throw up there because it's not fantasy football. And that looks really great. It's really, really cool. I was like, well, Ryan, did you buy that shirt? Where'd you get that? Costco or something? But he ended up making it. It looked really, really cool. So I recommend, you know, give him a few bucks if you need to, or come up to me and say, hey, I want to get a shirt made. This is what I want. And he's got these pamphlets and things that you can fill out to make a shirt or whatever. I recommend checking it out. Yeah. So, good luck to everybody next week. I don't know who I'm facing, but I'm sure they'll probably beat me. But good luck to everybody next week, and I hope the more power to you. Aaron, keep winning those games. Keep winning them, keep winning them, keep winning them. You know, Aaron helps me out. If he keeps winning games, I might just have a shot to possibly make the playoffs, because Aaron, if he wins games and takes the conference, then I'll have a shot to make it too. So basically, we reward divisions that are doing good, or you know, it kind of is nice. The playoff thing, everybody's kind of like, oh, well, I'm this in the playoffs. Don't look at the playoff bracket. That playoff bracket is controlled by ESPN, and it's not the format I want to go with. The format that I want to go with is completely different than the ESPN format that they have themselves. So, that being said, I will go ahead and tell you what the playoff bracket will be when we get closer to the playoffs. So do not believe that playoff bracket. I've had Nelson come up to me and go, hey, yeah, I'm this in the playoffs. No, you're not. No. That is the bracket that the ESPN thing is giving you. It is a customized bracket that I personally do, that I will give you the information on that later. I know it's very confusing, but I am here for you. I am the architect. I like to build lots of arches and walkways and hallways and all kinds of good jazz, 20th century, you know, stuff. No, I'm kidding. But I like to kind of have it my way and get a feel for it. But hey, me and Dennis